Jonathan Elias Whitmore had never been the kind of man who chased wealth or status. He was a carpenter by trade, a father by heart, and a warrior by necessity. After his wife passed away 3 years ago, he had raised his 7-year-old daughter Eleanor entirely on his own, pouring every ounce of love and determination into giving her the best life he possibly could. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please stay with us and watch this story till the end. If there is any mistake or shortcoming in our story, please kindly forgive us and support us with your love, patience, and encouragement. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories, and tell us in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Your support means everything to us. Eleanor was bright, curious, and full of laughter, the kind of child who made strangers smile just by walking into a room. Jonathan had saved for months, sacrificing new clothes, skipping meals, and working double shifts, just to afford the enrollment fee for Hartwell Academy, one of the most prestigious private schools in the city. He believed Eleanor deserved nothing but excellence, and he was willing to bleed for it. On the morning of the admission open day, Jonathan dressed Eleanor in her finest little dress, combed her curls with care, and held her hand tightly as they walked through the grand iron gates of Hartwell Academy. The school looked like something from a fairy tale. Manicured lawns, marble columns, and children in blazers running across perfectly kept grounds. Jonathan's heart swelled with pride and hope. That hope shattered within minutes. Standing at the entrance was a woman named Victoria Hargrove, a wealthy socialite, whose son attended the school and who had appointed herself the unofficial gatekeeper of who belonged and who did not. She wore pearls and a cold expression, and when she looked at Jonathan, his worn shoes, his calloused hands, his simple shirt, her lips curled into a slow, deliberate smirk. She looked down at Eleanor and then back at Jonathan with eyes full of contempt. "I'm sorry," she said, not sounding sorry at all, "but this school isn't really meant for everyone. Your daughter isn't allowed here. This environment requires a certain standard, and frankly, not everyone meets it." The words landed like a slap. Parents nearby turned to look. Some whispered. Some smirked. Jonathan felt Eleanor's small hand tighten around his fingers, and when he looked down, he saw confusion and hurt swimming in her innocent eyes. That moment, that single cruel moment, changed everything inside Jonathan Elias Whitmore. He did not yell. He did not argue. He simply looked at Victoria Hargrove with quiet, steady eyes and said, "Thank you for letting me know." Then he turned, lifted Eleanor into his arms and walked away with his head held high. Eleanor whispered against his shoulder, "Daddy, why didn't she want me?" Jonathan kissed her forehead and said, "Because she doesn't know you yet, sweetheart. But the world will." What Victoria Hargrove did not know, what no one at that gate knew, was that Jonathan Elias Whitmore was not just a carpenter. 3 years prior, before grief had pulled him away from the corporate world, he had been a silent partner in a technology investment firm. After his wife died, he had stepped away from everything to focus on Eleanor. But his investments had not stopped growing. Over those 3 years, quietly and without fanfare, his portfolio had multiplied beyond anything he had imagined. He had never needed to access it because he had chosen a simple life. But that morning, standing outside those iron gates with his daughter's hurt still fresh in the air, Jonathan made a decision. He called his financial advisor on the drive home and asked one simple question. What would it take to acquire Hartwell Academy? 2 weeks later, the answer came back. The school's parent trust was struggling financially, buried in debt after years of mismanagement. The board was desperately looking for a private buyer. Jonathan made an offer. It was accepted within 48 hours. The news broke quietly at first, then spread like wildfire through the parent community. The new owner of Hartwell Academy was a man named Jonathan Elias Whitmore. His first act as owner was not revenge. It was reform. He revoked the unofficial guest policies that allowed parents, like Victoria Hargrove, to police the gates. He established a full scholarship program for children from single-parent households and low-income families. He renovated the schools, community outreach center and partnered with local charities. And on the first day of Eleanor's enrollment, which was now guaranteed, Jonathan walked through those same iron gates, holding his daughter's hand, and smiled at the marble columns that now, in a very real sense, belonged to them. Victoria Hargrove stood nearby, pale and silent, recognizing the man she had dismissed weeks before. Jonathan did not gloat. He simply nodded politely, squeezed Eleanor's hand, and walked inside. Eleanor looked up at him and asked, "Daddy, is this our school now?" Jonathan looked down at her bright, shining eyes and said, "It belongs to every child who deserves a chance, sweetheart, including you." And that, more than any fortune or any victory, was exactly what he had always wanted. If this story moved your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness True Stories, where every story is a reminder that goodness always finds its way back to those who deserve it.